Close your eyes, dear dreamer, and let the cares of the day drift away like clouds on a quiet breeze. Tonight we journey to a place where kindness reigns, where the heart speaks softly, and the stars shine with the light of compassion. In the heart of a world seeking hope, there walks a man named Pope Francis, a shepherd of souls, a bearer of peace, a gentle guardian glowing softly under the sky of faith. He is more than a pontiff, he is a cradle of dreams, a voice of love, a soft lullaby woven from the murmurs of prayer, the warmth of humanity, and the heartbeat of goodness. As you nestle into the warmth of your bed, let's wander through his world, listen to his words, and feel his gentle presence, carrying you, safe and serene, into the arms of sleep. Picture yourself standing in a quiet garden, the evening air cool and fragrant with the scent of lavender and rosemary, their leaves brushing softly under a twilight sky. The stars above are just beginning to emerge, tiny sparks of light scattered across a canvas of deepening blue. The ground beneath your feet is soft, a carpet of grass and clover, and the hum of a distant city surrounds you, soft voices in conversation, the clink of cups in a cafe, the gentle strum of a guitar weaving a melody that feels like a prayer. Ahead, through a simple wooden gate, you see a figure walking slowly, his white cassock catching the moonlight, his smile warm and welcoming. It is Pope Francis, his presence gentle yet profound, and his eyes seem to hold the light of the stars, whispering, "Come closer, dear one, rest here." You step forward, the grass cool under your bare feet, guiding you through the garden where olive trees sway in the breeze, their silver leaves rustling like a soft hymn. The scent of blooming flowers wraps around you, mingling with the earthy musk of soil and the faint, clean tang of evening dew. As you approach, the noise of the world fades, replaced by a quiet hum, as if the earth itself is breathing in time with his steps. You pause beside him, and he turns to you, his face weathered yet kind, his hands calloused from years of service. He gestures to a simple stone bench beneath a tree, and you sit, feeling the cool stone beneath you, its strength grounding, its smoothness soothing. You breathe deeply, the air tasting of peace and distant incense, and feel your heart slow, your mind ease, as if Pope Francis is cradling you in his gentle embrace. You sit in silence, and the garden feels like a sanctuary, its borders soft and endless. The moonlight filters through the leaves, casting dappled patterns on the ground, and the stars above seem to lean closer, as if listening to the quiet rhythm of your breath. Pope Francis begins to speak, his voice soft and warm, like a father telling a bedtime story. He speaks of love, of kindness, of a world where every heart is a home for hope. His words are simple yet profound, each one a note in a lullaby that wraps around your soul. You close your eyes, and the sounds of the night weave a tapestry, the breeze's soft whisper, the rustle of leaves, the distant chive of a church bell ringing softly in the dusk. Your thoughts begin to soften, like ripples fading on a still pond. He shares stories of his life, not as a pontiff, but as Jorge Bergoglio, a man from Buenos Aires who once walked the streets of his city, listening to the joys and sorrows of its people. You imagine him as a young priest, his shoes dusty from cobblestone paths, his heart open as he visits homes, shares mate with families, and prays with those in need. You see him in the slums, his hands gently holding those of children, his laughter bright as he plays soccer in a dusty alley. You picture him riding the bus, a humble figure among commuters, his eyes always seeking the light in others. His stories echo in the garden, their warmth woven into the air, and you feel it, a quiet strength that lulls your heart. The breeze carries more tales, soft and fleeting, like petals on the wind. You see Pope Francis in Rome, his white cassock simple, his steps slow as he walks through St. Peter's Square, embracing pilgrims from every corner of the world. A woman from Brazil, her eyes filled with tears, feels his hand on her shoulder, his words a balm for her sorrow. You see him washing the feet of prisoners, his hands gentle, his humility a light that shines brighter than any crown. You see him speaking to crowds, his voice calling for peace, for care of the earth, for love that knows no borders. You imagine children, their drawings of doves clutched tight, running to him, their laughter bright as the Roman sun. Each story is a thread, woven into the tapestry of his life, and you are part of it now, your breath a new note in his gentle lullaby. You rise and walk with him through the garden, his steps unhurried, his presence steady. The path leads to a small fountain, its water tinkling softly, reflecting the moonlight like a mirror of stars. You pause beside it, dipping your fingers into the cool water, and it feels alive, its touch gentle yet profound, as if it carries the prayers of all who have sought his guidance. The garden opens to a view of a city, perhaps Rome, perhaps Buenos Aires, its lights twinkling like a constellation of lives and dreams. The breeze hums softly, blending with the rustle of palm leaves and the distant call of a night bird. Fireflies flicker around the fountain, their golden lights pulsing like tiny sparks of hope, guiding you deeper into peace. You find another bench, this one carved from wood, its surface smooth and warm from the day's sun. You sit, letting your back rest against the tree's trunk, its strength steady in you. Pope Francis sits beside you, his presence like a warm blanket, his silence as comforting as his words. The garden feels like a cathedral, its canopy of leaves a vaulted ceiling, its stars a stained glass window of light. He speaks again, his voice a soft murmur, telling of the earth as a shared home, of every person as a brother or sister, of love as the greatest prayer. His words are a lullaby, each one a note that slows your heartbeat, a melody older than time. In your mind, you see his journeys across the world, a shepherd tending to his flock. You picture him in a refugee camp, his hands clasping those of a family fleeing war, his smile a promise of hope. You see him in a forest, his voice calling for care of creation, his eyes tracing the leaves as if they were sacred texts. You imagine him in a hospital, sitting beside a child, his laughter bright as he shares a story, his presence a light in the darkness. You see him at the Vatican, his window open to the night, his prayers rising like incense for a world seeking peace. His journeys echo in the garden, their light woven into the stars, and you feel their warmth, a quiet comfort that soothes your soul. You imagine the mythical spirit that walks with him, not a saint, but a presence of light and peace. Her form woven from the prayers of the world, her eyes as deep as the night sky. She is the soul of his mission, the keeper of his dreams, the embodiment of the love he shares. She stands beside the fountain, her presence warm and gentle, her footsteps silent on the grass. She points to the city below, where lights pulse like a living heartbeat. and you see the world as she does, a tapestry of hearts, of hopes, of quiet magic. She doesn't speak, but her gaze says, "Rest now." His love endures. You are safe. You feel a wave of calm, your heart slowing, your body sinking into the bench, into the night, into the dream. The breeze carries fragments of other stories, soft as whispers. You see a teacher, her classroom filled with children, reading his words of kindness, her voice soft as the garden's breeze. You see a volunteer, her hands planting trees, her heart inspired by his call to care for the earth. You see a family, their table set for a simple meal, their prayers echoing his message of unity. You imagine his voice in the hearts of dreamers, his words a silent witness to their hopes. Each story is a star, each moment a note in his lullaby, and you are woven into its melody, your breath a soft echo of its song. The night deepens, and his whispers grow softer, blending with the rustle of leaves in the garden, the gentle splash of the fountain, the faint hum of a distant hymn. The stars lean closer, their light a gentle blanket over you. You imagine Pope Francis as a lighthouse, his presence a guide through the night, his heart holding the world in a tender embrace. His heartbeat is the breeze, his breath the hum of prayer, and you are cradled in his light, safe and warm. You see the city below, its lights catching his glow, each one a tiny mirror reflecting your calm. Your thoughts drift, like clouds across the starry sky, soft and unhurried. You see yourself walking with him in a dream, not alone, but joined by those who hear his call. Children with bright smiles, elders with quiet wisdom, dreamers with hearts full of hope. His path stretches on, eternal and unfolding, a journey that leads not to an end, but to serenity. You feel your eyelids grow heavy, your body sinking deeper into the bench, into the night, into the dream. The breeze hums a final note, a lullaby that says, "Sleep, dear dreamer. His love will watch over you." You let go, your breath slow and steady, your heart at ease. Pope Francis holds you now, his kindness a cradle, his prayers a song. You sleep, and the world sleeps with you, his whispers fading into silence, his starlight guiding you to dreams. Tomorrow, the cities will wake, the gardens will bloom, the hearts will hope, and his message will endure, waiting for the next soul to find its peace. But for now, you rest, wrapped in the quiet magic of Pope Francis, where every word, every smile, every breath is a lullaby woven just for you. Good night, dear dreamer. May your dreams be as radiant as his compassion, as gentle as his presence, and as timeless as his love.